Week 4 from the office this morning. Wanted to get this out. Got a busy day ahead. Want to get this out first thing in the morning for all the John Cena University League members. Should be a short and sweet one this morning. So let's get right into it. Highest scoring week of the year so far. Lowest score this week was 90, so everybody broke 90. Don't know how often that happens. So league's getting a little better here. Teams are getting a little stronger. So let's start off with the toughest matchup, highest scoring matchup of the week. True under Big Dog Story 129, and they dropped this one to King of the Week this week. Capone's V card 145. Capone's V card, just no crazy big points. 21 was their highest score. Everybody was in the high teens, essentially. And True under Big Dog Story get a 30 piece from Baker, but it was not enough. So True under Big Dog Story, it's a tough one to drop for them, considering they put up 129 and it drops them to 1-3. Capone's V card, 3-game win streak, up to 3-1. Moving on, the Swamp Dicks versus Cambodians. Swamp Dicks 103, Cambodians 135. We've talked about the Cambodians. Tier 1 team, very, very tough team. Even with even with A-Chain, or how the fuck you say his name, scoring 4 points, they still put up 135. Just solid performances all around on their team. We got to talk about the Swamp Dicks. This team, they need to figure out their receivers. Saquon and Derrick Henry are carrying them, and Breece Hall is giving them something here and there, although Breece Hall is a little bit of a concern right now. I mean, he had 4 yards last week against the Broncos. They got negative points from their tight end, Mike Gesicki. So they're in desperate need of Evan Ingram to come back, and as well as Devontae Smith, because these receivers are not looking good. Overall, though, Swamp Dicks dropped to 2-2. They're in an okay spot. Cambodians, the final unbeaten team at 4-0. Cambodians are a wagon right now. Next up, we have Big Balls versus Goblins. Big Balls 115, Goblins 110. It's tough for the Goblins. Nothing's official yet, if I'm not mistaken, but it's looking like Rashee Rice might be done with an ACL. They did MRI, but it's not. They can't really tell yet what the severity is. So you can hold on hope. Maybe it's just a very, very bad sprain or a partial tear or something, and he might be able to, come back at the end of the year. But you got to feel for the Goblins. Look for the Goblins to bounce back from this. We're looking at a very, very similar start for the Goblins last year. 3-0 start, Tier 1 team, and then you fast forward 10 weeks, and he's sweating the last place punishment. So I didn't want to. I didn't want to do this to the Goblins, but I did text him on Tuesday saying he was screwed this week. And he said, "You said in the video that I'm the best team in the league. You're scared. I said, you are, but it doesn't matter. This is exactly how last year went. You start 3-0, and then in the blink of the eye, you're sweating the last place punishment. He said, those are old players. This team is all about consistency. Our sole focus is getting better each week. He said, I don't care, you're screwed. He said, you're dealing with a buzzsaw. Well, we'll leave it at that. I hope that this is not a repeat from last year for the Goblins. So Goblins dropped to 3-1. Capone or Big Balls improves to 2-2. Next up, Fear the Chodes versus Catalina Wine Mixins. Fear the Chodes 94, Catalina Wine Mixins 99. Tough one for Fear the Chodes. They had a shot here. They had a chance at a win. And unfortunately, they can't get it done. This is tough for Fear the Chodes. You really hate to see it. He had a lot of guys on his bench too who did well, but you can't blame him. I would have started the same players. But yeah, Fear the Chodes drops to 0-4. In last place, Catalina Wine Mixins 99 improves to 3-1. Next up, the Dog Pound versus Hurley and Chuck's Year. Dog Pound 129, Hurley and Chuck's Year 122. This is a tough loss for Hurley and Chuck's Year. Really tough loss. Going into the final night, Hurley and Chuck's Year, they were up. Going into the final night, they were up by 16 points. Yeah, 17 points with Tyreek Hill to go, with Dog Pound having Kenneth Walker. So you'd think, Kenneth Walker, not going to outscore Tyreek Hill by 18 points, even with Tyreek Hill having a shitty quarterback. But and I knew this. When Kenneth Walker scored his third TD, I saw Dog Pound take the lead, and I saw the time. And it was about, I don't know, it was like 10:30 or something. I was like, Hurley's definitely asleep. He's gonna wake up to a nightmare. Turns out he did. Turns out he woke up at 3 a.m. and texted the Dog Pound saying, I just woke up. I just saw what happened. Unbelievable. I wake up from a text to Hurley and Chuck's Year at 8 a.m. It just says, what does it even say? I think it just says, that sucks. Yep, just, that sucks. No context, but he knew I knew. And, yeah. But still, Hurley and Chuck's Year, 122. They're putting up points. They dropped to 2-2. Dog Pound improves to 3-1. And last but not least, well, last but probably least also, the Tasty Boys Club versus Elmwood Lawyer matchup to watch. The Ice Bowl is what we called it. Tasty Boys Club take this one 108-90. Big win for Tasty Boys Club. Tough loss for Elmwood Lawyer. Elmwood Lawyer and Fear the Chodes are now the only defeated teams in the league, and they're battling it out for to avoid that cold plunge. So we'll see how that pans out. Let's see when they are scheduled to match up. Could be, looks like week 8. But yeah, week 8. I don't think McCaffrey will be back by then. So that's big news for Elmwood Lawyer. But let's do the week 5 preview. We have Big Balls versus Tasty Boys Club, Capone's V Card versus Elmwood Lawyer, Cambodians versus Under Big Dog Story, Wine Mixes versus Swamp Digs, Hurley and Chucktier versus the Goblins, the Dog Pound versus Fear the Judge. I think our matchup to watch here, nothing too enticing here, but I think we're gonna go with Hurley and Chucktier versus the Goblins, for the reasons that Hurley and Chucktier just came off a heartbreaking loss, and the Goblins are coming off a heartbreaking um, loss and injury to one of their key pieces of their team. So this is definitely a bounce back spot for both teams to see how they handle adversity. If they're gonna let it, knock them down and derail them, or if they're gonna, next man up, or next game up mentality. So yeah, Hurley Chucks here versus Goblins. That will be our matchup to watch. We are a quarter of the way done. Pretty much a quarter of the way through the season, almost. After this week, we'll be more than a quarter of the way through. So, good luck to everybody in week 5, and have a happy Wednesday.